So it looks like stream is live, and we are going to wait for the seek. And this is the third place finals between SultanPepper and Biss. So we'll wait for them to get that game up, and we should be about ready to go. I'm going to let them know that we're about good. Okay, so let's jump back into main chat real quick. Well, let's check out those ArcBot links in a second. Okay, so I'm gonna tell them I'm ready to go whenever they are. And here we go for round one. Okay. And here we go. Okay, so standard corner openings. Edge crawl from SultanPepper. Looks like he's gonna stick towards that. Okay, we got the strong capstone over there. Would not be surprised to see a capstone potentially on D4 to try and intercept that. Okay. Now let's see if he's going to continue building. We might see an E1 to continue that threat. Okay, it looks like he's going to instead go over towards this direction. Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder how this is going to play out. Okay, so Sultan's just going to keep on trying to build. Would not be surprised to see him go along the 2. The question is, what can Abyss do to try and regain some momentum in this occasion? So I would not be surprised to see a B2, because he probably doesn't want to throw E1 quite yet. Because doing that's going to bait over there. Okay, so it looks like he is going to try and build that route. Now we might see an A2 and a potential crawl on A from black. Okay, so it looks like he's going to wall that and try and cut off that threat, absolutely. So we could see a B1, an A1, an A2. So A2 is going to immediately start the threat. B1 is a bit more passive, but it gives him more options later. Because the last thing you want to do is try and get that wall involved before you really need to. Okay, so he's going to go for the first threat. So we might see some action here on C2, or we might see that wall at B3 come down. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be the wall then. So there are a couple of remaining threat vectors. There's E1 over there. There's also the potential of building up along. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised to see a B3 come up fairly soon. The question is, what can Abyss do to try and wrest some momentum from this? Because right now he doesn't really have many threats, and it's mostly been moving pieces. So right now it is 4 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 5 to 8, so he's 3 behind on flat. Okay, so it looks like he's going to try and keep Sultan out of that corner, which is a smart move because it takes down his options a little bit for building more strength in the area. Okay, so it looks like he's going to try and build off along the 2-3, potentially trying to affirm something from D all the way up to B there as well. Okay, so we have attack over here from 2 to 3. Okay, and that's game. Okay, resignation it is, which was smart because that technically would have been a low road, which would have been a +1. So it looks like it's +5 instead of a +6. So we'll go ahead and watch for the second game here. Okay, let's see if they're open global. Okay, so let's get started with game 2. So we have Sultan with a 5-0 lead currently, and it looks like Abyss is going to try the same edge crawl. Okay. So would not be surprised to see, yeah, capstone right there, but a counter capstone right there might block the momentum. The only problem is that gives a lot of leverage over on 4 and 5 that Abyss can potentially build off of. Okay, so it looks like Sultan's going to try and affirm some position over there, so he's managed to block off some area in that case. Would not be surprised to see an A4 to try and keep him from making a capture attack threat. Okay, so what he's doing is he's going to try and do C3 left probably here after we see an A4, or it might be an A5 minus. Ooh, interesting. So this gives Abyss a very good board position. So I would not be surprised also to see potentially D3, but that would invite the capstone down, which would be ruinous to his position, so I doubt that's going to happen. Let's see what we have. So there's a possibility of B4 and then capturing up with the capstone. Okay, so it looks like he's going to make that threat. So we could see a black piece played on D3, though I don't think that's quite strong enough. Ooh, and that's game. Nope. Yes, game. Okay, so that makes it 5-5 even. And that was not a low road, so that is a 5-5. Okay. Okay, looks like we're going to play the edge crawl. This looks like a repeat of the last game. Okay, so we might see a C3, capstone on C3. Okay, that's interesting. So we're potentially going to build this direction now. Question is if he tries to respond to that capstone with a B4, okay, so B4, try and keep him from going that direction, so he's going to try and go vertical more than likely. Now, I would not be entirely surprised to see a capstone hit on either B3 or, yep, okay, so B3. Try and keep him from going that vertical threat. Okay, I would not be entirely surprised to see something along the lines of D2 or a more risky C2. Okay, so it looks like he's going to try and get into that area. I wouldn't be surprised to see B5 to try and lock him out of it. Which would give black a little bit more position to play with, and it would also keep white from being able to build in that same area. Okay. Ooh, that's interesting. The problem is, yeah, the wall can come right there, and that presents a little bit of an issue. Okay, so white's got his capstone locked in the corner over there. So it looks like he's going to try and do that D2 move that I was mentioning earlier. Okay, what do we get? C2, okay. So it looks like he's probably going to build for A3 to make a road threat. Okay, smart. He's trying to take over the D knee. So he has a lot of presence over there, which can strangle out the road threat across 3. Okay, so he's going to go in and make a threat. So we might see any one of, yep. Then we could very easily see a wall SC2. But that also potentially provokes the capture over of E3 to the left, which would end up in a war, which would not really be winnable, but would give a couple of white captives over. Okay, so you're going to see, interesting. Not a bad move, because that does prevent the potential issue of him running away with a few more white captives. And it also leaves a lot of liability very, very threatened. That capstone's going to need to get out of the corner, though, otherwise he's going to have an issue. And it looks like he's building to try and lock that capstone in as fast as possible. Okay, so we're going to see the road threat. So we might see the wall over, or we might see another wall. Okay, so SE1, another wall it is. So you keep some leverage on D3 without trying to compromise that position. Good. Ooh, interesting. So we're going to get that wall over there. Now, does black go for D3 immediately, or do they leave it alone for a few turns and hope for the best? Because as soon as that C2 wall goes up, then that's going to need to be an immediate move afterwards. Okay. So it looks like he's trying to build across for that horizontal threat. There might be a good case for making a move on either B1 or A1 right now, just to make sure that capstone is locked and can't get away. Well, to be fair, it is kind of currently. Never mind, it is locked. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and get that threat going. Okay, so the threat's been made. Would not be surprised to see the attack threat come up there. So is he going to take D3 or... Okay, so he's going to leave it alone for now. Interesting. Not sure what they're going for with that one. Because most white's threat is wrapped up on D and E, most black's threat is going across 2 and 3. Okay, so black's trying to keep white out of 4 or 5. And white might be trying to get a hold of unlocking that cap. So I might think of an A1 right here just to make sure that that cap is definitely locked. Okay, so he went ahead and made the threat. Surprised he didn't leave black piece there. Okay, so we might see a C2, and then we're starting to get into some board fill type territory. What exactly are we aiming for here? Okay, so a threat's made. I mean, we could see another white wall, we could see a white piece. That's going to get captured back immediately. I mean, we might see a throw of that wall just to ensure that it's captured. But Abyss is going to run low on time, so white might be able to strangle him on that. And a reminder, we're currently at 5-5 right now. Okay, so we saw the capture, so we might see another wall, or we might see the wall move up. Ooh, and that's game. Okay, so right now we are at 10-5 in favor of Abyss. And let's see if there's anything. So that looks like that was a normal road. So nope, it looks like it is going to be 10-5 currently. So we'll keep an eye out for that last game. Let's see what we get. And if they do actually end up tying, since I said that I would, there is going to be a coin flip for the 5th game, which will be a tiebreaker for who is white. Okay, so we'll just keep an eye out for that last game. Okay, it looks like the seek just went up. Okay, so last game, let's see what we get. Abyss is white, so he technically broke lead, so we'll see what happens. And again, we're at 10-5 in favor of Abyss. Okay, so we're going to get that early capstone again. We might see responsive CC3, or looks like they're going to keep building, so we might see some building starting to happen across C. Just try and keep out of the complete range of influence of that capstone. So we might see CC3, we might see some building over that direction. It looks like they're going to go ahead and make the tack threat right there. Okay, so we have an immediate response. Okay. So what this is doing is potentially giving me momentum back over to black because they do have a building path over in the direction of D. So it looks like what they'll be able to do is keep on building in that direction. If white does capture, black can drop their capstone on top of that and have an extremely strong threat across 4 and 5. Okay, so it looks like they're going to continue making threats over in that direction. Okay. So as black, you don't exactly want to leave this alone, but you're probably going to have C5 to the right, which is going to present an immediate threat. So you might see as a response to that a C5 response. But that's a good move by Sultan, protecting the D4 stack, which has a lot of white liability on it, without necessarily compromising the position of the capstone. Okay, so it looks like he's going to go for that capture, so we might see the C5 right in response of C5. So let's see what we end up getting with that. We might also see E4 plus, but I don't think that's going to give a strong position. Okay. So we might see a B5 response. Okay, interesting. The capstones come into play here. We might see a rush of capstones north, starting with D3 plus, but I'm not sure what we end up with, because Sultan's probably worried that that white capstone can move north and present a lot of potential issues, as well as you have the threat of B5 getting taken, creating a huge amount of trouble. Okay, so it looks like black's going to try and just cut off that entire path over there. Okay, so white's going to run away with it. So we might see a D5, we might see some more building going on. The only problem is that white is about one move away from having an immediate threat. Okay, so we have the cap rush. Okay. The only problem is that white is in an exceptionally strong position right here. So white could basically just keep on building straight down C and present a very credible threat very quickly. And even with that wall, there's still a lot of potential damage that can be done. So right now, essentially, we're at 2 to 3 as far as flat count, with a lot of material under capstones or a couple of pieces that are vulnerable. Okay, so it looks like white is going to go ahead and try and pursue one of those ABC threats going north and south, and we're going to see how that pans out. Okay, so black is going to try and intercept it a little bit there. We might see something like C3, though honestly this feels like it's grasping a little bit. Okay, so black's going to continue building over there. It's going to make the threat there. We might see a B5, though that feels a little bit weak from white. Okay, so white's going to go ahead and make a very, very credible threat here. So we're going to see a lot of threats going real fast here, because white has a ton of potential options. So it's a very good setup for Abyss. I would not be surprised to see something like an SD2. No, that'd be a bad idea because then there'd be an immediate B1. Never mind. Okay. So how does Sultan get out of this? Okay, so it looks like we're gonna have that wall there instead. So it does start some of the momentum there, but immediately afterwards you're gonna have, yeah. This is beginning to get very, very dangerous. It's basically me wall dancing for a little bit here because white basically has an absolute stranglehold on most momentum. So Sultan's gonna have to be very, very careful to not make a mistake here. Okay, so white's gonna go ahead and make that. Question is, what can black do in response? Okay. So it looks like white's going to continue to make some threats over there in the AB 4-5 area. I mean, there is potential to... Wait, is that enough pieces to throw? Okay, it's not. Okay, so I would not be surprised to see this stack come over a few and then dump some black pieces on top of that. Okay. So that does give some material to black again. Okay, so we might see the capstone move up. We might see... Okay. The biggest challenge to Abyss right now is going to be time. If he's not careful, this game is going to end very quickly on that. So I might probably E3 left. The problem is that white has such a severe gain. And let's see here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he can flat out. Question is, would he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 8. So if Abyss wants, he could win it right now. Okay, it looks like he's going to take some risks here. Which, with this little time, he's going to have to be very careful about this. Yeah, if Sultan can keep playing and try and keep him distracted, this might be a very interesting game. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it looks like white's not going to risk it. So that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be a +4, I believe. So that looks like we have a 14-5 in favor of Abyss. So Abyss is going to be our 3rd place and Sultan will be our 4th place. So we'll go ahead and cut the stream right about there, and we will have the championship game tomorrow at about 1 o'clock Pacific time between Simon and Apple Monkey Man.